What's going on, Father?
What do you mean?
I heard you on the phone. I don't know who you were talking to or what it was about, but whoever it was, you're really giving him a hard time.
Well, you'll learn one day, Ethan, that when you run a large corporation, sometimes it's necessary to speak rather harshly to those who work under you or gets things done. However, thank you anyway for your concern.
Don't mention it.
While I've got you here, there's something we really should have a chat about.
Yeah, what's that?
I saw you last night with your arms around Teresa.
Well, it's not what you
Not to
think.
mention that, I noticed Gwen was watching.
Father...
Now, I know I told you I thought it'd be a good idea for you to sow your wild oats with the housekeeper's daughter,
I'm not
but not
sowing...
at the cost of your relationship with Gwen. And while a fling with Teresa would be quite pleasant, I'm sure, I'd prefer it if next time you'd use a bit of discretion.
Father, I've asked you before not to bring up your ridiculous innuendos about Teresa.
Now, the only point I'm making is that if your marriage with Gwen were to fall apart, the Crane family would lose out on an excellent business opportunity.
I've made it very clear in the past that I'm not going to get married for business reasons.
No, you misinterpret.
How much money is at stake? I'm marrying Gwen because I love her. And as for Teresa, I was holding her last night because she witnessed her father's death. She was terribly upset. She was devastated.
Well, of course. How fortunate you were there to comfort her.
And sometimes I wonder how well you know me, Father. Or if you even know me at all.
Where are you going?
To see Sheridan.
Sheridan's not getting too close to that cop, is she?
Louise saved her life last night at the cost of his father's. She's grateful to him, as anyone would be.
Just how grateful?
You know, Father, your sexual innuendos about Teresa and me are pretty bad, but Sheridan and Louise, it's ludicrous.
Is it?
Sheridan, you are not gonna believe... Louise?
Ethan.
Good morning, Ethan.
Good morning.
Better call my family, let them know I'm all right.
That's a good idea.
Is everything okay?
Everything's fine.
Big deal, but it's a little strange.
He was exhausted. He fell asleep on the couch. There's nothing more to it.
Who fell asleep on your couch?
Louise. Look, I felt bad for the guy. I mean, he was grieving over his father. He hadn't eaten, so I took him home.
And?
And I fed him, and he fell asleep. I put him up for the night. It was the least I could do.
Was it?
Oh, I don't need to defend myself, Julian. I was helping someone in a time of need, nothing more.
Yeah, nothing to you. But what about Louise? I mean, I don't think you understand what the man did for you last night, Sheridan.
I know full well what he did for me. He saved my life.
And he chose you over his father. And that means something.
Look, this isn't a matter of Louise choosing me over his own father. He's a police officer. He's a very moral man. He was only doing what he's trained to do. His father had a gun. He was attempting to kidnap me. And Louise only had time to save one of us. So he saved me. Like he would save anybody else.
So how's he handling all this?
Well, intellectually, he knows he did the right thing. But emotionally, he's torn up by it. I feel for him.
You feel?
Oh, lay off, Julian. You know, there's nothing going on between Louise and me.
Fine. I must confess that having my sister mixed up with some cop who thoroughly dislikes my family is not high on my list of things I want to see happen.
Louise is going through a lot right now. He needs his friends.
And he's got a tough road ahead of him. You know, it sounded like Pilar wanted to take another look at the body. And that's got to be hard for her.
I don't understand why she would want to do that. I mean, the body is Martin Fitzgerald's, isn't it?
Pilar wants to re-examine the body.
That's what Louise said on the phone.
It sounds like Pilar isn't sure that the body is Martin Fitzgerald's.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Of course it's Martin. Pilar's grasping at straws. Oh, I feel so sorry for her. She's gone through such a terrible ordeal.
You know, I think I'm gonna go over to Pilar's and see how she's holding up.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, that's a wonderful idea. Do try to talk some sense into her. Pilar's distraught. Tell her it would be best if she didn't go looking at her dead husband's body. It's so terribly morbid. It'll only further upset her.
We'll do what we can.
Damn Pilar. I'll get it, Renee.
Is there anything more that we can do for you?
Thank you for asking, but the only one who can do anything for me right now is lying in the morgue.
I couldn't help but overhear your phone call at my place earlier. Are you really going to...
My mother wants to look at my father's body one more time.
To make sure it's Martin.
You sure you should do that?
Positive.
Well, my father said it was definitely Mr. Fitzgerald.
Well, my mother isn't sure that the man is my father. So we're going to the morgue to look at him again.
The real Martin Fitzgerald had a small scar behind his ear. I doubt anybody in the world knew about it but me.
I'm gonna call the morgue. Let him know we're coming.
I think I'm gonna step outside, get some air.
They must have brought him to see me. It's now or never.
Teresa?
Ethan.
Look, you know, I know Louise doesn't want me talking to you because you've been through so much, but I had to see you, see how you're doing. You okay? You look kind of tired.
I am a little.
You know, if you want to be alone, I completely understand.
No, I mean, I want to talk to you.
About your father?
My father's death isn't the only thing that's troubling me right now.
What else is wrong?